Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is a video that a lot of my friends and family have been requesting for literal years, or at least ever since I started collecting all this stuff. So instead of taking the big picture that I said I was going to take and post on my Facebook, I decided to do an entire video tour of my flute collection just for you guys. I guess let's just dive right in. As you can see, I have a lot. I have been collecting flutes for about, I started playing flute when I was in 5th grade. So do the math there. I started on just, regular C flute like most band kids. And I started getting into the more ethnic flutes, probably about 10 years ago, maybe? I don't know. I'm taking a complete stab in the dark. I guess what we can do is just start with the regular flutes, and then go from there, and then I'll give you a tour of all the fun stuff over here. So starting with the flutes over here, and I'm also going to turn on my second camera. A second camera, what? Hey, second camera, what's up? Let's start with my main flute, which is my Muramatsu DS model that I've had since college. There she is right there. Actually, I would say he. There's a story. Not all my instruments have names. I know a lot of people like to name their instruments, and I don't name every one of my instruments because, oh my god. But this one has a name. And it has to actually do with my backup flute, which is the professional flute I played in high school. So this one, as you can see here, has some pretty engraving on the head joint. And my Muramatsu is a heavy wall silver with the works. It's got the C-sharp trill, it's got all the fun stuff on it, and it plays like an absolute beast. So that is why these two flutes are named Beauty and the Beast. Alright, so right here we have my main piccolo, and that is a Homig main piccolo. Homig. Love it. I don't have a name for it, sorry. And this is my backup piccolo, which is a Jupiter plastic. So this is what I play when I need to play outside, and I have a really fun story about this piccolo. So a lot of you know, a lot of you don't know though, that I am a LARPer. And I play a bard at my LARP, and I bring a lot of this stuff with me. Not all of it, but I bring a lot of it with me. And I use this as my main, how would you call it, adventuring instrument. I take it because it's small, it's plastic, it's durable, and I have a really fun story about playing this piccolo in the middle of a mass battle. So, to kind of give you a little bit of background, I was standing in the middle of this field, and we were trying to protect this circle. So I stood in the circle because I was protected there, and we have about 100 people who come out to this LARP and play. So about half of them, maybe about a third, were NPCing, which means they were playing the monsters and the zombies and whatever was attacking us, and then the rest of us were in our regular costumes playing our characters, and most people are either mages or warriors or healers. And we have this special song in our game that protects people from being put to sleep or being charmed, mind controlled, as long as they can hear me playing it. So that's why I bring this guy, because it's loud and everybody can hear it on the field. And so we were in this crazy mass battle, and I stood there playing the piccolo for half an hour straight. The only time I ever stopped was to do this. And then I kept going. I was exhausted afterwards, but it was worth it. So next regular flute we have is my Alto Flute, which I still have the curved head joint on it left from the last video I did. But it does actually have a straight head joint, and you probably saw it in the sleigh ride video that I did a few weeks ago. So I use both. I prefer the straight head joint because it sounds better, but I also have upper back problems, so I do like to occasionally use the curved head joint. It's a little bit easier to play, I can play for longer periods of time. So I'm just showing you the curved head joint because a lot of times people will see the straight head alto and it kind of looks similar enough to a regular flute that they can't really tell the difference. So that's one reason I like to use the curved head joint in my videos, because then people will be like, whoa, what's that? And then I already touched on Beauty, which is my high school professional flute. And then I have this guy here. This is probably the newest flute in my collection. Here, I'll show this video, this angle here. This is a Yamaha student flute. I work at a music store and I recently bought it. And because I'm going to need a stunt flute for videos and for LARPing. And also I have a daughter. I'm anticipating her maybe wanting to play flute later, maybe, hopefully. So I will have something for her to play in the future, because she's not touching this. Okay, so that's all of my regular flutes. Where's the bass flute, do you ask? Well, that one is not mine. So I didn't put it in this video because I'm actually borrowing it from a very generous friend. It's her backup bass. Yay, thank you, Amy, for letting me borrow the bass flute. I have been really enjoying playing it. This is my Ocarina collection. They are all from STL Ocarina, hashtag not sponsored. I just really like them. The story behind the Ocarinas is that about 4 years ago, my husband and I were at Gen Con. And one of the things we love to do at Gen Con is just to go around and look at all of the vendors, because it is like kids in a candy store. I came across this booth and it was just covered in ocarinas, and I was like, this is so cool. I've always wanted one. I actually looked at the booth and I was looking at all of the Ocarina of Times because I'm a huge Zelda fan, and Ocarina of Time is my absolute favorite of the Zelda games. It is super nostalgic for me, and also it's a game about music, like having magical properties, so how can I not love that game? Also, Koji Kondo, awesome composer. I was looking at all the Ocarina of Times, and then all of a sudden one of the salesmen pointed this guy out, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is such an obscure reference. I love it. So if you didn't know, this is actually a replica of the ocarina from the second ever made Pokemon movie. So this is my childhood right here, because that is actually my favorite Pokemon movie of all time. Such a cool story, and oh my gosh, the music at the end of that movie. Oh man. When she plays this, chills every time. So how could I not buy this? The second ocarina I ever got was actually my Ocarina of Time. This is the STL plastic double Ocarina of Time. I wanted one that had a little bit more of a range, because a regular ocarina can only play about an octave, maybe an octave and a half. I wanted to play a lot, more of a range, and I learned how to play the double. So the third ocarina I ever got was this one, because I figured I need a ceramic one in my collection, because that's what ocarinas are usually made out of. I have this one. The reason I don't play this one very much is it's kind of a funky shape. And also it's missing some of the usual holes that an ocarina would have. Like usually there's 2 holes on the bottom, there's only 1. And there's no pinky hole here. And so it's a little bit limited in what it can play, but oh my gosh, it's just so cool that I just had to buy it. So I wanted to get a ceramic one that was a normal 12-hole ocarina. So I picked this one out because I really like it's pretty. Look at the colors, that's really pretty. I don't really play it very much because most of the time I'm playing these guys at LARP, and I'm not bringing a piece of ceramic to a place where people are hitting each other with foam weapons and we're running around outside in the woods. That does not sound like a smart thing to do with a piece of ceramic. So this guy just kind of sits at home and looks pretty. This is probably my favorite of all my ocarinas. This is my STL triple ocarina. It's plastic, but it sounds absolutely fantastic. So I haven't had a chance to play it at LARP yet, but I will. And this is my newest. It is another Ocarina of Time, and I apologize, this thing reflects like, oh my gosh, everything. I can't get it to not glare, but yes, it is my second Ocarina of Time, and it is a bass ocarina, so it's actually an octave lower than one of these or one of these. This is my smallest instrument ever, and this actually plays. This is a real ocarina, and I wear it like a pendant. Moving on. Okay, so now we're gonna get into these here. I don't remember where all of them came from, admittedly, but we'll just kind of go through them one by one here. Starting with this blue thing right here. I'm sure you're wondering what the heck this is. This is a plastic flute. I originally bought this to use at LARP because they claim that it is indestructible, and that's pretty accurate, I would say. I don't have to worry about temperature changes. It's a fun prop. I'll probably use it for videos. So this right here is a fife that I got from a friend at work. It was actually handmade by one of our former repair techs at our store. So I think that's really, really cool. And so I haven't really played it a lot. It sounds really nice, but I have a fife. And I also have another plastic fife up in that can there, but it doesn't sound nearly as good as this one. I'm gonna pretend I know how to play the fife. Okay, so I got a bunch of stuff lined up here. So let's go through them one by one. All right, this is my penny whistle in D. So it was the first one I got, and it's from Eric the Flute Maker. It's made out of wood. The holes have been burned in, so when I first got it, it actually smelled like a campfire, and oh my gosh, I love that smell. I like it. I use it at LARP because it's made out of wood, so it kind of looks more rustic, and it's actually quite loud in the upper register. So that's why I don't actually use it for church anymore, because it's just so loud. that I can't really control it, and I always feel super self-conscious when I play up in the upper register on it. So I actually have a different penny whistle in D that I play at church. This is my Susato penny whistle in D. I love it. These are plastic, but believe it or not, they sound amazing. And I love this thing. I've played it so much, and I just absolutely love the sound. These are two more Susatos. Our former worship pastor loved to play in E and B, so that's why I got this guy, so I could play in E and B and not want to rip my hair out. Okay, I lied when I said that that D from Eric the Flute Maker was the first penny whistle I ever bought. I forgot that this B flat from Eric the Flute Maker was actually the first that I ever bought, and I actually bought it straight from him at a street fair. That's where I met him. I picked it literally just because it's pretty. Look at it. Look at it. It's just gorgeous. And it's made out of bamboo, and it's just wood burned and carved and beautiful, and I love it. It sounds really, really pretty. I used it in my Star Wars video back in the spring. So next, I have a couple of Native American flutes. I don't play them very much, but I know how. So this one I bought at NFA several years ago because this was literally the only instrument I could afford. I was so broke. I was a student. I do really like the sound of it. So a lot of these actually came from a recent purchase. Somebody in my LARP group was getting rid of a bunch of them, and so she sold me the lot. So I greatly expanded my flute collection recently. So this came in that bundle there. Sounds like a whole tone scale. That's strange. This was also in that bundle, and I'm not actually sure what it is or what it's called, but it's got some, I don't know what country that is from. It's got some pretty engraving on it. Yeah. I don't know what it is or how to play it, but I have it. So next is a couple of bamboo flutes that came from that same person who sold me a bunch of instruments. Can't tell you right off the bat what key these are in, but you actually blow into them like a regular flute. This one I kind of struggle with because I've got really skinny fingers and it's really difficult for me to cover the holes. So I've got a couple of cans right here. Let's see, let's go through this one. So this is that plastic fife I was telling you about. I mean, it plays. And then I've got this penny whistle that my dad made. Okay, maybe it doesn't play anymore. And I've got just a little tin whistle in D. And then I've got this little bamboo thing. I'm not sure what it is. I don't even know where I got it. I have it. Here's another tin whistle in D, I presume. Ooh, that's got a really nice sweet sound. I need to start using this. Here's another tin one, and it's in C. I do like this kind of like more kind of earthy sound in this one as opposed to the Susato. I think this is another tin whistle in D. Not sure where it came from. Oh, and it doesn't really play. So yeah, I keep all these in a little can just to store them. The second can over here is my can O recorders, and I don't really touch them because, believe it or not, I don't really play recorder. I do have an Alto, which sounds super cool, so I think I'm gonna try to get back into playing these. But yeah, these are my recorders. I think that covers it. I think that is my collection here, so I hope I didn't miss anything, but So let's go over a little, I want to talk a little bit about my channel. So starting about last month, I decided that I'm going to actually go for it, and I'm going to start acting like a real YouTuber and uploading on a regular basis. So my goal, hopefully, is to upload every Friday. And it won't always be a music video. Sometimes it'll be something like this, where it's like a vlog or a tour or something. And I also have a couple of other things in mind for the future, so keep an eye out for that. And also make sure you go like me on my social medias. I have an Instagram and a Facebook. They're connected, so they're mostly the same things, but sometimes I post different things to my Instagram than I post to my Facebook and vice versa. So go ahead, I'll put the links below. I do occasionally post videos there that I don't post here. I enjoy posting little short things on there, little short ensembles. So keep an eye out for those, because I will post them there, and then I'll post these longer videos here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!